So if I start the recording, that should be, my volume should be better now. Is my volume better now?
It's good.
Yeah, can go up a little bit higher.
What about now? Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay, that's what we'll do. Well, you all seem like you're ready and relaxed in your various places on this planet. Or get relaxed, because you will have to put the body to sleep just like you do every night anyway. Piece of cake, you're all masters at it.
Yep.
What we're doing here is helping you remember that you should be awake and aware when you choose to put the body to sleep and go on journeys, because the body's not involved in any of that. It just remains on automatic just fine while you go. If you had been raised from birth on Earth knowing this would be second nature to you. And you wouldn't have a difficulty knowing the difference between what's more conscious, you the Atma, and the body and brain, because that is not the real consciousness. It's a machine. It's a device you run for a while till it wears out, or an elephant sits on your head or something like that. You know, sudden demise, meteor hits you on the head or something. But at least we know reptilians aren't going to eat you again. That's a good thing. That's always a good thing. To know that's not part of your future anymore, permanently. It's always good to begin these journeys by having you send out with me 5 hues. This is what this does, and I'm going to mute your microphones, only to keep better recording quality, no background noise or anything like that. But you can always turn it on if you need to ask a question. Once I've started recording, this becomes telepathic. This means that the Atma awake begins to communicate with me and other beings, masterful beings, waiting for us outside of Earth's atmosphere in space in the pure hue, where there is no negative nature. You can't store anything positive or negative in space. It just there's nowhere to put it. Try to send a negative thought out, it's like a wave or a frequency. It can go through space, but it doesn't get recorded in space. There isn't any way to impose the negative stuff people create on Earth out in space. It stays within Earth's atmosphere, which is why we are paying the price for what we do as a group of 8 billion people every day of the week. Surrounds us, completely reciprocal. Everything we've ever thought or done is manifested around us. Stays within the atmosphere because ultimately we're supposed to be responsible for clearing that up. Otherwise it won't clear itself up. There's not going to be any savior come by and wave a magic wand and clear it all up. That isn't the way it actually works. Even if people have been brainwashed to believe this, this is not the case. Such beings are not responsible to free everybody on Earth while they sit on their butt. That's not the way it really works. So we have to be responsible enough to accept our responsibility as co-creators with Source. And that means we have to be responsible caretakers and custodians of planets and people and each other and nature and animals and plants and birds and fish. And people on Earth are not doing that at all. Not at all. Well, for the most part, they're continuing to engage in the massive raising and slaughtering of animals and eating flesh, and they think somehow they're going to evolve into a higher heaven being like that. It's not going to work. It isn't the way life is that supports all life. It's not the way the hue is. So people are stuck with what they have here, but I can tell you that no one on this planet was ever like that long ago. That got imposed upon them one way or another, and then they found themselves on Earth with everybody doing it, so you grow up, everybody's doing the same thing. It takes quite a lot of courage and experience to break the habit of keeping up with the Joneses, let's put it that way. It's a terrible habit. It's better to keep silent about being someone who doesn't imbibe or indulge in the things people eat or what they do, Because they'll just fight you on it. They'll go to their book and say, well, thousands of years ago, everybody did it, so we're supposed to do it. Well, I ask them, what do you want to live thousands of years ago under tyrant kings and be thrown to the lions? What's the matter with you? I don't say that, of course, because I can't. They wouldn't understand it anyway. So I just wish everybody well. For my part, I just send the Hue expansion ray out to people that are dumber than boards, really. Because I was once. And so I just let it come out and let it do what it's going to do with these people when it wants to do it. I suppose the highest form of prayer for others is to send the Hue to them. But you have to be very careful not to tell the Hue what and how to do it with them. That's wrong. That's an intrusion of people's personal Atma and free will. Even though they don't have free will, it's still an intrusion. So we don't do it that way. I'm going to send out the Hue, and all three of you just do it with me. Match my tone, not out loud with your vocal cords. You don't need to do that. It puts too much strain on the body, and it'll keep you in the body or grounded to it. I can speak and send out the Hue, and my body's in the trance state called sleep anyway, because I've had to go into the experience of gaining the wisdom to know how to do it. Simultaneously, speak, talk, leave, go, guide you. But I'm on the same journey with you, even though my body's back on Earth. And this should be an example for all of you, because it kind of tends to rub off on you after a time. The Hue comes through me with its wisdom, comes through to you, and what I know how to do and how I do it begins to awaken those areas in you, each of you. How much longer I'll do these English guided journeys remains pretty much up to you. I could stop them, just go about doing the work behind the scenes. I found that in the West, in the Western speaking countries, they're far more mindlessly entertained and easily distracted away from doing what's best for themselves than people in Thailand, for instance, who have a Buddhist background, because that particular path has its center in the mental plane, 4 planes up from here. And people in other faiths don't have that. Some Hindu people do, but they're more dogmatic now in their understanding of the higher worlds, and they're not experienced in it. So this is not a slight on anybody. We all came into this world pretty much dumbed down, surrounded by dumbed down people. And then we just had to grow up with that. So now we're starting to break old habits. I'll send out the Hue now. Just do it with me. Get relaxed and stop moving around. This turns on an area of the pineal gland, the center of your brain, allows the source energy to flow through me and through you and down the top of your head and out through your body and out through the walls of your house. It's a continuous, constant flow of the one power, the zero-pointer toroidal energy, the one living presence energy that's supporting and sustaining the multidimensional creation. These guided journeys always begin with the Hue. actually with the Hue expansion ray, which was created in the upper realities above the void in the Hue expansion ray plane. And that was into a plane of existence above the silent mentor realm, which is just above the ocean of sound and light, or prime creator or source. And it's above that. It has a certain structure and shape to it, and exists with silent mentors to have an administration area to administrate the Hue expansion ray, which is a type of wisdom based from the center of all creation that flows down through the silent mentor realm, through prime creator source, then down through Agam Purusha's realm, down through many planes, until it reaches the Hue expansion ray academy. Then it's sent down into Satnam's realm, through the void, through the etheric, mental, causal, astral, and finally to the physical worlds. It is returned through many different doorways, but primarily through the axes or the central focal, or through the center of each galaxy, and then beamed back upward. They're like generators that receive and channel energy from higher worlds, distribute it out through the spiral galaxy, into the arms, the planets, out to other galaxies where it is the omnipresent space between them, and it's a constant energy. To more advanced spacefaring races, it is a known energy. They know it's not nuclear or atomic. They don't use laws of physics that people have developed on Earth, mostly theoretical, to determine what to do with this energy that is predominantly the largest amount of what there is in creation. They work with it in harmony, so it benefits them, powers their ships. Their ships can travel across the stars without actually using any energy. Now, wouldn't that be sweet? So, in other words, for us to become more advanced, or to remember how far much more advanced we once were and lost it, we have to start working with the primordial, omnipresent living power of creation in every way, or we do not advance further. Earth people don't even know how to contact it, much less work with it. So they pray to it. It's okay. I suppose if their prayers are constructive and positive, well, okay. Be aware there's a Galactic Alliance couple similar in appearance to Shantiel and Tonatiel and Dantium and Lamtium, standing to each side of your body, that is now in the trance state we call sleep. When we send out the 5 U's, it puts it in that state. Doesn't mean you think if you're in that state, your body's asleep, you wouldn't hear a car go by outside. That's not true. That's an automatic defense mechanism that stays, in a sense, on to wake you up if there's an emergency. So, but you are hovering near the ceiling above your body. Most of the time you generally are behind it or above it anyway, whether you know it or not. You find yourself hovering near the ceiling as the spherical Atma you are, projecting a human peering form standing out in front of you. Galactic Alliance couple as spherical Atmas are hovering to each side of you, almost also projecting a human appearing form. These forms appear to be about 36 years of age, but flawlessly beautiful if you're a woman. If you're a man, flawlessly handsome. Pale, luminous, golden white light is pouring down all around you through your ceiling. This started when we sent out the 5 Hues. A brighter flash of this light finds us all standing in a circle of beings around Ambassador Trillian in outer space, outside of Earth's negatively impacted atmosphere. There are other master teachers here who will be going on this journey with us, fortunately. Ambassador Trillian, Satnam, the Atmayam, and other master teachers will now guide the group through sending out the hue on successively higher tone frequencies. And we do this together to create a powerful charge in the wondrous vortex or interdimensional portal, or hourglass-shaped vortex that connects space beyond Earth to the void and upward far beyond it. We're not yet traveling through this vortex just yet. In space, we see Master Ramu standing closer to Earth in our circle of beings around Turelian. Out here, everything is a white golden light. It's not black like you see in a Hubble Space Telescope time-lapse image of billions of galaxies and all their colors. Everything that appears dark blue or black in those images is actually a white golden light. It is the hue expansion ray energy, or really the primordial omnipresent first sound, or hue. There's a new essence of wisdom flowing through it now that was not there before. And this is designed to help retire the old failed experiment of good and evil in the subconscious minds of people in the lower worlds, with something that gives them the wisdom and the consciousness to never be vulnerable to be trapped again. So Master Ramu is standing closer to Earth in our circle of beings around Turelian. Master Opelum standing on the opposite side of the circle, further away from Ambassador Turelian, in the white golden light of outer space that we see all around us. And it has an omnipresent sound to it. It's a deep humming, almost like rumbling like thunder. But it's not violent, and it doesn't have any lightning or anything like that. This light surrounds the Earth, the Moon, the Sun, the stars of our galaxy, and is in between all the other galaxies and all the way through the planes. Master teachers Etta and Din from the Dren race are hovering with their tails glowing like crystal opal in bright sunlight above the spherical Atma of Turelian, who is hovering above his 18-foot tall body that he chooses to show us. Master Sat Nam is standing further above Etta and Din, below the bright hourglass-shaped portal. It connects to the void, further upward to the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, and all the way upward to Agam Purusha's realm, and then to Source or Prime Creator. Turelian's closed fists with his thumbs up have a brighter sphere of golden white light around each one that is creating a transparent golden oval-shaped energy field surrounding all of us, like the hull of a spaceship. The Galactic Alliance couple, simpler in appearance to Shantil and Tonaltial, and Dantam and Lamtam, are standing to each side of you near the ceiling above your sleeping physical body back on Earth. Here they are keeping all negative, misdirecting, fear-based programs in the subconscious mind turned off for the journey with your body in the trance state we call sleep. A brighter flash of golden white light from Turelian's closed fists with thumbs up finds us all instantly moving in a blur of bright hue expansion ray light into outer space far beyond the Earth and the Moon. We are moving upward until we suddenly come to a stop and look down to see the entire Milky Way Galaxy far below us, turning on its axis, and our nearest galactic neighbor, called Andromeda. Turelian, Satnam, and myself as the Atma are now guiding you downward in a long golden arc of light to the other side of the Milky Way Galaxy to explore 3 special worlds that were previously explored in a last group journey done in time back on April 7th of 2022. As a group, we're moving halfway down the 4th spiral arm of our galaxy, away from the spiral arm where Earth is located. The planets are about to visit circle what is called a trinary star system. We see this from far above this sun system as we approach it. There's a big light blue young sun at the center, and a big yellow sun much larger than the sun on Earth that circles it, but smaller than the blue one. And further out is a giant red type star, a giant red a giant red star, or what's called a red giant. Trillian has us all stop above the planet located in the 5th orbital position around the trinary star system. It's almost five times bigger than Earth. It's called Zontraya. It appears to be 4 to 5 times larger than Earth, and we see 5 moons the size of Earth, or a bit larger, orbiting it, all with no polar ice caps. There's dome cities and various land masses with surrounding luminous oceans. We're looking down on the planet to see there are 2 continents on this world, one over the North Pole and one over the South Pole. We suddenly find ourselves on the North Polar continent, walking between dozens of huge clear domes built aligned in a spiral formation. Silent mentors, the mechanics of all creation, and advanced master teachers work here together to get a handle on new ways to create doing things, to retire the old failed experiment of good and evil. This is accomplished by replacing the old positive and negative subconscious misdirected ways of imagining things with the wisdom of true right discrimination within the Hue expansion ray as it passes through us. This world only has Atmas running human-type adult bodies here to explore ways to change and correct the subconscious misdirection that exists in people on planets like Earth and other worlds as well. These beings also teach in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. They bring back from there, where no negative nature exists, new ways of doing things, and then bring them all the way back to the physical universe to experiment on 3 very special worlds. Not only do they create new devices and technologies, but many ways to utilize the Hue Expansion Ray in wondrous new ways to remove the subconscious mind and negative implant programs in beings like those living on planet Earth. Each of these huge clear domes encompass a huge blue glass-like tower, like the one in the center of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, far above the void. They circle out in a spiral like stars in a galaxy, and inside each one are ongoing experiments to fix all aspects of beings that have been broken and suppressed for billions of years. What is experimentally created on planet Zontraya is designed to eventually be brought to planet Earth and other troubled worlds, to transform humanity in unexpected new ways. Only adult human beings run by conscious Atmas on these worlds are tested to get subconscious blocks removed and fear neutralized. So obviously beings are trained here to work for every individual on Earth at some point. In a way, at a distance, to bring an energy through them when there's enough people on Earth, to have it sweep through Earth's atmosphere and light up the oceans, brighten them, to have them start glowing again. And then the entire transformation that will transform Earth will sweep the planet. A flash of light from trillion suns finds us all hovering above the 6th larger planet, orbiting in the 6th orbital position around the trinary system. This world is called Ontoron. Here there are only children representing human and a few other races, being run by advanced, conscious, masterful Atmas to bring into creation new ways to correct the unconscious states of children on planets like Earth. We are looking at a world with pale pink glowing oceans and 3 concentric land masses, continental land masses, I mean. None of them are over the North and South poles. On the surface at the center of each continent is a central tower surrounded by big, clear domes that are spread out away from the tower like spiral arms of a galaxy. Here there are only children or young adult type beings residing here to experiment with ways to fix things in safe, non-destructive ways for the unconscious beings running children's bodies on Earth and other worlds. There are 4 moons the size of Earth orbiting the big parent planet with no polar ice caps. They all have dome cities on them. They are all part of the experiment. Another flash from Trillian's thumbs finds us all now hovering over a big planet in the 7th orbital position around the trinary star system. This is because trinary stars radiate such combined energy of the hue. The worlds can be many more worlds in different orbital paths with lots of brilliant life on them and no polar ice caps. This cannot be done on a planet like Earth with one sun. This is not a solar system like the one where Earth is with only one sun, as I mentioned. In a trinary star system, many different worlds and many different orbital paths can support life. The planet we are above now is called Temasculine. There are 3 planets the size of Earth orbiting this big planet. Here, only animals, mammals, birds, sea life, and plants with very advanced Atmas running them conduct experiments and then create and implement new ways to free the Atmas running those bodies that are twisted and misdirected back on Earth because of the direct influence of humans who are unconscious on that planet. This is part of the awakening in the hue expansion ray to recover respect for the Atmas running animals, mammals, sea life, and so animals on Earth can help the human beings on the planet awaken from a terrible, fear-driven, subconscious amnesia. This aspect of transforming life on Earth is done to get human beings on Earth to stop the unconscious, sadistically careless raising, killing, and eating of dead animal bodies on the planet. It has come to an end. This is part of what awakening Atmas do when they advance to let the hue come through them to a higher level. The desire to kill and eat animals and all that just drops away. Remember, these are silent mentors working with very advanced master teachers who first developed this in the U Expansion Ray Academy, and then they bring it down to our galaxy to experiment the ways to implement them on planets like Earth. This is also taking place on similar planets within our nearest galactic neighbor we call Andromeda. These 3 worlds, much larger than Earth, with a number of moons the size of Earth orbiting them, have no polar ice caps. Now we understand that these experimental worlds in the Milky Way Galaxy and the Andromeda Galaxy have corresponding places for developing new ways of implementing an unexpected, uplifting transformation for the terribly misguided and misdirected people of planets like Earth and other worlds. Experiments that are developed and then tested to work are then inspired to be created on these worlds. So what is done there can, at some point, be brought to Earth as part of the new hue expansion ray energy disclosure. For the first time in creation, it's now moving within the omnipresent living one power or first sound behind creation. It emanates directly from Source, or Prime Creator. A flash of golden light from Ambassador Trillian's thumbs finds us all instantly hovering in a circle around him in space outside of planet Earth's negatively impacted atmosphere. We see that the Earth we are looking at has no polar ice caps, an alive atmosphere-covered moon turning on its axis as it orbits the planet. There are a number of clear domed cities on the moon. This is planet Earth as it is in the 3rd higher parallel dimension of the physical universe. There's one huge continent centered over the equator from the left to the right hemisphere. We can see right through the planet to see there is another continent on the other side, 2/3 the size of the huge continent, also centered over the equator. An emerald green glowing upward curved half-moon base-shaped beach is located at the bottom of this continent about 1/3 of the way up from the South Pole. There are no polar ice caps on this Earth. We instantly find ourselves standing along the curved emerald green beach, wiggling our toes in the sand, glowing a foot above the surface. Ambassador Turellian is standing just offshore, up to his knees in the calm, luminous, blue-green ocean water. The green light of the beach then runs up our legs, out to the top of our heads, and up into the white core of the Atma we each are, before it moves out into the green, teardrop-shaped, higher faculty layer of our spherical beings. The sound of a hauntingly beautiful flute melody coming through the green sands from source is moving through us for our benefit and onward out into this pure earth, and then down into the earth with which we are all familiar, with its polar ice caps. The dead moon that does not turn on its axis orbiting it, and into the negatively impacted atmosphere. We are back in a circle around Turellian. In space. Above us, you can see Etta and Din hovering with their tails glowing. Lightsea is a little further up, and above him is Satnam, standing below the opening of a wide, clockwise turning, golden white whirling vortex, hourglass shaped. There's a pale golden white light flowing down through it. Comes through Satnam, the big spherical being is, through the form he shows us, which is flawless. Down into Lightsea, down into Etendin, down into Turellian, out his thumbs, the closed fists with his thumbs up, and out through each one of us. And as it comes through each one of us as the spherical Atma, it is shot in many directions, down into Earth's atmosphere, and connects to untold numbers of fellow beings. It is an outflow of the hue, and will work with them at night when they're out of their bodies to prepare them. So now, together out here in space, we're going to send out the hue on successively higher tone levels, and you're going to watch that vortex up there. Way up at the other end, you can see clear up in space, the other end of this vortex apparently opens into a brilliant, but what I call a pale blue, cobalt blue, luminous space. That's the void. So this vortex, created by silent mentors, 2 couples to each side of Satnam, and all of us to charge it co-creatively, bypasses the lower worlds of time and space, like the astral and causal and mental and etheric, in order to connect into the void, across the void, into Satnam's realm, up certain portals there, into the U Expansion Ray Academy, and it continues upward a number of other higher realities until it reaches Argam Purusha's realm, goes into the Tree of Life, up the luminous, transparent golden trunk, and into the center of what we call Prime Creator or Source. So this is what we're doing right now together, just the 4 of us with these other wonderful beings. And I'll begin those tones now. In the silence of your own being, don't use your vocal cords. Match my tone, which is easy for you to do. And put it out your part in this to co-create this. You're going to watch that vortex begin to light up one layer after another, like donuts, different sized donuts, big one and a smaller and a narrow area. You'll just see it light up in sections. It puts a protective blue-green water-like layer of light surrounding the outside of the whirling clockwise golden white light of the vortex. And that shields this doorway from anything that exists in the lower worlds of time and space. The sound of the humming of that deep rumbling sound is now being transformed into the high lilting melody of a flute. It's drawing us upward. Turellian flash of light from his thumbs finds us as a group, surrounded by an oval transparent sphere of light like a hull of a spaceship, darting up into the opening after Satnam, who's disappearing way up on the other end, coming out the other side. And then we come out the other side. And we're floating in this infinitely vast, light, cobalt blue, pale blue atmosphere, space, Here there is only the pure hue. There's no negative nature here, and we didn't bring it with us. Here we are only the Atma around Terrellian. And the form we show each other that's not made of atoms or molecules, it looks human and well dressed. It's a prototype of what we use to show each other who we are, but it is not a physical body. It's not made of atoms. It can't be destroyed or anything like that. And then the vortex below our feet just simply dwindles to a point and vanishes. And now below us, around us, and in every direction is this pale blue luminous light. We still appear to be moving upward at tremendous speed. You can see Satnam disappearing way up into space higher. And then suddenly we disappear up in space after him. Then we begin to see what looks like a glowing ball of light, white light. And as we approach it, it spreads out into this huge diamond-like spherical aluminum beach that extends left and right in both directions as far as you can see, and it curves in on itself, implying that this beach surrounds a floating circular landmass. As we approach the beach and stop to hover above these diamond-like sands, you can see that the jungle trees are made of many types of trees. Weeping willow, giant redwoods, oaks, fruit trees, banana trees, everything you can think of, except that the trunks are transparent, the leaves are glowing, the fruit glows, and the energy of the hue is moving up and down the trunks of these trees. Above them are circling, and then they line up in 12 in each row, 2 parallel rows. They're about foot-long birds, double sets of bird wings above them, like a dragonfly, but they can hover, move backwards or forwards like a hummingbird. Big blue eyes, beautiful, almost, what do you call them? What type of bird is that like? It's like not a cardinal, blue jay. And the feathers are rainbow colored and blended, beautifully blended into each other down the length of their bodies. They have long V-shaped split tails, vocal cords like we do, and a beautiful Atma, quite a bit larger than we are, hovering above each one, and they're just simply greeting us. And they start to sing the hue, male and female, with perfect voices. And you begin to realize the hue is coming through the Atma, running these bird forms, and it's actually charging and maintaining what we call the void that surrounds Satnam's realm. So they're just here to greet you, and then they go about their business. And we're moving over the top of these jungle trees as a group of beings around Ambassador Trelling in the center of this circle, until we come to see in the distance a long diagonal snow-covered bluestone mountain range. And down below us, as we stop, we see a clearing. 100-foot in diameter white stone floor, and in the middle of it a 15 in diameter white alabaster stone-like scalloped edge fountain with a statue of Satnam standing up in the middle of it. There's a white stone flat sitting seat with 12 scrolled stone legs circles this fountain. A statue of Satnam looks just like him, which is, the bronze-skinned, bald head, golden eyes, not yellow, bald, tunic dress from his waist to his bare ankles, strongly built, muscular chest, no shirt, 2 gold bracelets on each of his upper arms, with his palms out facing forward, the lights coming down into this statue, filling the bowl in an even, glistening, luminous, white golden sheet of light that flows over the edge in a glistening sheet and vanishes in between, below the fountain, in between the circular sitting seat. We find ourselves moving as a group of beings. Satnam is staying behind. He's pointing to his statue. He's hovering in the air. He's given us permission to go further, so we shoot up this shaft of light coming down into this statue and come out the other end of another vortex and find ourselves moving swiftly toward what appears to be a huge circular floating landmass, all by itself in an even brighter cobalt blue luminous atmosphere of space. There's no moons or planets or suns or stars here. What we see is like a huge floating landmass with a white, glowing, golden white beach, brighter than the one in Satnam's realm, circling the entire circumference of this Hue Expansion Ray Academy. And this was brought into creation, and where this is in a special parallel dimension created between the top of Satnam's realm, the Atma plane above the void, and the sixth realm, which none of you have been introduced to before. There are a number of planes above that before we get up to Agam Purusha's realm. And then we're moving over at the very center, way up over the top of this huge floating landmass. We can see 6 snow-covered mountain peaks in the center surrounding what looks like an oval blue-green luminous lake. And that surrounds a white circular island. And out of the outer circumference of this island extends a clear blue glass-like tower that comes up half the height of the mountain, 2/3 the way, and then there's a flattened oval center and administration area. It comes up to a clear minaret-type point. There's another fountain inside the center of that administration area. There's no statue of Satnam in it. And coming down to the top of this blue glass-like administration tower is a white golden shaft of light. It comes from the realities above here. It's funneled through the tower and down through a device that's in the center of a white circular sandy floor at the base of this tower. There's a 4-foot high, 2-foot wide, lapis lazuli-like blue stone laced with gold column, polished rounded edges, flat on top, supporting a 4-foot in diameter crystal blue glass-like sphere, hovering a few inches above the surface. There's a cobalt blue star in the center, radiating light, and a shaft of white golden light through the towers coming down into this. It goes through the blue star in the glass sphere and enters a chamber, big, huge oval chamber in the hollowed out interior of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. In the chamber, on the floor, surrounding, it's almost round, but it's still a little bit oval, are these white leather-like chairs. And in the center, a shaft of white golden light comes down from this star in this sphere. And Trillian and I are hovering in that. You can see the Atmas we are. And you're in a circle around us, just the 3 of you, but there are other beings here too, other master teachers. And you're sitting in one of these white chairs. It's facing away from the shaft of light. And what you see around you are 12 leather-like chairs, spaced quite a distance apart. They're all looking towards the wall of this chamber where there's tall trees. They happen to be like weeping willow trees with luminous blue-shaped glowing leaves and transparent trunks. Standing above the top of each tree is a silent mentor. Now, these are the mechanics or creator people that maintain the creation. The doorways between dimensions, galaxies spinning on their axis, moons circling planets, planets circling suns, etc. This is what they do. And standing above on the top of the tree in bare feet with a single color robe on are these silent mentors, alternating male, female, in a circle around us. Hovering above the heads of the bodies they show us. When you look at their face, they have long hair to their shoulders, different colored hair, different colored skin tones, single colored gowns, one's blue, one's green, one's red, one's violet, etc., all the way around. And there's Atma hovering above these forms. When you look in the face of these forms they choose to show us that look human, you see no facial features. Just a golden white light. And if you look into it, you'll see levels upon levels upon levels of galaxies. So this is how they think and see creation. And above them is hovering an Atma 4 times bigger than us, 4 times as many teardrop-shaped levels or faculties in each color of the spectrum of light. Another white golden light, brighter, is coming down into the white core of these beings. And through their physical appearing forms, and it's projected to you 3, right through the spherical Atma you are, hovering above the body that is sitting in one of these chairs. So each of you are a third of the way around from each other, surrounding Ambassador Trillian and myself. And you're getting a perspective from them as the hue moves through them. It comes through you, and it goes into us in the shaft of light and goes back to source. But it's also moving down the shaft of light through us, going through you, coming back into the silent mentors, and going up the shaft of light above them. Satnam, who is now hovering just above us in this shaft of light, is beginning to talk with each one of you, all 3 of you women. We heard him to begin to telepathically state, many years ago, the Atma few of you on Earth know as Lemriel or Scott returned from one of many journeys to Source or Prime Creator. He had just co-creatively worked with the top silent mentors and silent mentor beings, Masterful associates, after they manifested the hue expansion ray plane in a new realm just beyond the silent mentor realm. There exist 2 higher dimensional realms above the source, also referred to as the ocean of sound and light or prime creator. The hue expansion ray plane or dimension was manifested into existence to be the administrating center of the new hue expansion ray that was first manifested there. This was shared with the further co-created with Agam Purusha, located many dimensions far above Satnam's realm, called the Atma plane, and then it was shared with Satnam in the Atma plane for the uplifting benefit of all life. The vision of having Satnam's statue standing in a radiant golden white light fountain was instantly brought into manifestation as a device or interdimensional portal or doorway to serve as a channel for the new omnipresent hue expansion ray living wisdom energy that had not existed before. It now flows from the hue expansion ray plane down into the silent mentor's realm, down into the source or the ocean of sound and light, down into Agam Purusha's mystic realm through the massive tree of life for him to control the raw power of eternity, and is distributed down through dimensions below him, then downward into the hue expansion ray academy. This is accessed when visiting the Hue Expansion Ray Academy by traveling down the directly western White Stone Road White Roadway a short distance from the snow-capped Blue Stone Mountain that surrounds the center of the huge floating landmass. Master Lightsea was there when this happened. He's the custodian, guardian, master teacher of this teaching facility that contains the huge but smaller tree of life centered in the floor inside the pyramid. Once this was accomplished, the statue of Satnam appeared in the center of widening concentric circles of botanical gardens on a 100 feet wide circular white stone floor. The shaft of white golden light from source carrying the new hue expansion ray appeared flowing like a cylinder of light down into Satnam's statue. Then I was standing by his side, Satnam tested this new creation brought into existence for the first time. Inside his clear crystalline palatial estate built up against the long diagonal snow-capped Bluestone mountain range, Satnam then tested it by sending the new ray into the long rectangular LCD-like view screen white wall along the left side of a long walkway. It leads to the blue transparent domed room with the white leather-like chair centered on the floor. We have been there before. The Hue expansion ray energy Satnam channeled through the Atma he is was sent down through the void and downward into the lower dimensions and worlds of time and space. The new ray instantly returned to this view screen and to Satnam with the understanding the new Hue expansion ray purpose for existing is true, necessary, and kind. The golden-sided quartz-like cap pyramids with Satnam's statue, channel of the new ray from source and higher, began to manifest on Earth in 3 special locations, 2 at the bottom of the planet Earth's deepest oceans, and 1 inside the hollowed-out interior of a hidden mountain in the Himalayan mountain range. Now that you all know this by your own direct experience, we all turn ourselves and our attention to the hourglass-shaped U energy vortex that is still above us and still below us, all the way through all the planes. We are hovering above the 6 snow-covered mountain peaks around Tyrellian in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. That's a plane unto itself. And we swiftly dart in a golden beam of light and stop to hover above a curved blue stone walkway leading to the round blue glass-like door in the front side of the huge golden-sided quartz-capped teaching facility of Master Light C. He's standing by the circular door that opens as each half slides inside the wall of the pyramid. A flash of light from Light C then has us all standing in a circle around Master Tyrellian inside the mighty pyramid next to Light C, in front of the huge, luminous, silver-golden Tree of Light. Tree of Life. The Hue expansion ray is visibly moving down through the transparent tree trunk and out through all the needles on every branch of the tree before it is sent down into Satnam's realm and then down through the void and downward into the lower worlds of time and space and into the pyramids stationed on Earth. And we instantly find ourselves back hovering above our bodies, still in the trance state we call sleep on Earth. The Galactic Alliance couple is still hovering beside us, and then they vanish. The white golden light of the Hue is still serenely moving down through us as the Atma, and then down through the sleeping physical body. It continues out through the walls of your home for your benefit, and onward into Earth's atmosphere for the uplifting benefit of others. This is the only way this works now, fortunately for all of us that must for now still reside on planet Earth. So for a moment, while you're hovering near the ceiling above your body, since you're bringing this back to your body on Earth as an awareness, picture yourself in Agam Purusha's realm, coming out of the trunk of the Tree of Life. It's massive. Everything around us is a fire of orange and yellow and blue and green and violet, moving constantly. This big, massive, spherical being approaches us and welcomes us here. Now, he's already given us permission to go above the Tree of Life to Prime Creator or Source. But he's also giving us permission to return, and we find ourselves walking out of the Tree of Life in the center of the golden quartz floor, in the middle of this 4-sided golden quartz-capped pyramid with Master Light C smiling at us. We come right out of the trunk of the tree, which is transparent and running with golden white energy. We hear the sound of a flute playing a hauntingly beautiful melody. And he greets us to this teaching facility. The tree of life here and the tree of life in Agampurusha's realm, all the needles on all the branches of all those trees, those two trees, represent places in the upper realities, which is incredibly vast, and places in the lower worlds of time and space, even planet Earth. So you're bringing back awareness of how the Hue expansion ray came into existence from the Hue expansion ray plane that did not exist previously to the silent mentor realm. There's a specific island in the center of both places with a certain type of channel device in the middle of them. We'll get into that another time. It goes down into, from Agampurusha's realm, through the tree of life. It's sent down the lower worlds and comes out in the towers that are abundant in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. Then it's sent down to Satnam's realm through numbers of towers that exist there. And then it's sent down into the void, to the etheric, to the mental, into the causal, into the astral, all emotion comes from. And then it comes down into you, the top of your head and your physical body, and out through this huge golden white electromagnetic or 0-point energy field. That's where implants and subconscious minds are located, not inside the sphere of the Atma, hovering there watching this. It goes through you, through your physical body, out at what you call the aura, which is much bigger than psychics think it is, and it's spherical. And it goes out through the walls of your home and goes into 3 pyramids stationed on Earth. They're not made of physical plane matter, and they are turned on and working. There's a statue of Satnam in each one. It's a device. It connects pure energy from his realm, past the void, bypasses it, and comes right out into Earth, which is the way they'll transform, return back on the oceans to be glowing like they should be when the time comes. It goes through those statues. It's beamed out through the walls of the pyramid, 2 on the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 in a hollowed out interior of a mountain in the Himalayas. And then it's beamed to a much bigger pyramid, floating stable between 2 stable asteroids that are turning around the sun in the asteroid field that circles in the orbit of what was a planet around the sun between the planets Mars and Jupiter. That's how that asteroid field got there. The planet was blown apart. Didn't just somehow just jump into being. And then it's beamed to pyramids that have been appearing between individual stars in our galaxies. Very highly classified, this one. Because there isn't anything anybody on Earth can do with them at all. Affect them in any way. Weapons, nothing will work. And then it's beamed to the white axis, the core of the galaxy, up the shaft of white golden light and returned to source. And it never stops moving. And it only moves one way now, from the highest realm down through us and back to the highest realms, where the sign of infinity comes from. And there's a lot more in that sign of infinity than there was before. So in this way, you endeavor to the best of your ability to bring back to your life on Earth the awareness of this journey. You have a great advantage, because this will be, when this recording is stopped and we've returned, it will be put on my YouTube channel. And you can go there because I'll send you the link. And you'll see it there as the latest one just put up there. And we do this to make it public so that it can be beneficial to others. Who knows who's ready? My suggestion, while this is still in this journey, is that you play this back another time, another day, some other time when you're ready, and you won't be disturbed. And you can approach playing it back a second time with childlike wonder, for fun. So you can just play it, pay clear attention to it, be alert and awake, and listen and observe what you just went through as an Atman, not the physical brain or body. You're educating or enlightening that brain and body and personality by going through this. It's the only way to bring a higher intelligence to you on Earth. And then you maybe go to dinner, shut it off, play it again later. But do it consistently. Stay with it until you go through the whole journey a second time. And you will discover just how much took place on this journey. It was a lot. Don't expect your mind and what you think your mind is and brain on Earth to record all this or comprehend it. It doesn't have that ability. You, the awakened Atma, have that ability. So it's up to you to enlighten your body consciousness on Earth. We're back now. When you're ready, open your eyes. For me, these things get very exciting because things happen that you really don't know are out there, and you become aware of them. This is important. It just makes you smarter, more intelligent on Earth, way more. I mean, you three might take for granted what you know now, but the rest of the women on this planet don't know diddly squid about any of it. Not a thing. Many of them are too afraid to even approach it, as are the men. The animals, they would approach it instantly, but they're repressed by the humans on the planet. It's the way it is, folks. So, we have any questions that you'd like to ask while we're still recording? Well, let's see if Marge, she went off somewhere, she might. If you don't have any questions, that's okay. But it was all pretty clear to all of you, right?
Yes, it was.
A lot went on here. Those three worlds, everything's practical. If you're going to transform a planet like Earth all the way down the lowest of planes of 144 parallel dimensions in the physical universe, it has to be worked out on experimental planets first. Then it's brought to Earth when the time is right. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing with people. They know what they're doing with animals, with plants, with stones, with rocks, with the atmosphere, how to remove the negativity in it, the chemtrails, turn it on, light it up. They know how to do that. That's not a big deal because it is working normally on their worlds. They just bring it here. It's the only way we're going to get it. We're going to need it from beings, fellow beings who haven't been shut down like we have been on this planet. It has to be brought here. There's no other way to get it here. There's no savior going to come here, no Buddha, no anything. It's going to come here and just flip a switch, and we have to be involved co-creatively in the process, at least some of us on Earth. Because we were much more enlightened and aware and awake and masterful in other lives than we are now. And that needs to return to us. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Well, if you have any, write to me later. Otherwise, see if you can answer your own questions. That's fun when you just go, oh, I know that. I don't need to ask Scott that. Oh, yeah, I know that too. It's like that. Have fun with it. If you don't have any more questions, then this was only an hour, which is great. No more. Pretty succinct, pretty packed. I will wish you all onward and upward.
And the same to you, Scott. Thank you.